Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medase.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is
UK.
Starr Radio
UK.
This is Starr Radio
UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. We don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for who? For here, we they call them London. And I said, you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
Let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth and those of you on other planets as well. We want to welcome you to the Starr Radio UK Monday edition of the morning show. Well. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Yes, sir. And madams, okay? Have I covered it well? And let me say good morning to my producer, Mr. Francis Guy. I say it all the time. Without him, we'll not be able to bring you the program that you enjoy like that. But he makes sure that everything is ticking along nicely, and therefore we are able to bring everything that we need to bring your way. So this morning, Mr. Guy, I hope that you had a very nice weekend there. Good morning to you, and I'm saying massive and special good morning to my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yes, Yomi, good morning. I hope that you had a very good weekend as well. And to our outstanding listeners from across the globe, let me say good morning to Felix all the way in Aberdeen. Kojodi, good morning. Mr. Dan Tabiri, yes. I hope that you managed to sort things out. Yes, yeah. And Mrs. Evelyn Tabiri and the girls, I salute you all. Yes, good morning to you. Also, let me say a special good morning to Anthony Adedeji Aziz. Massive good morning to you. Shamsuddin, good morning. Bishop Adeshina, good morning. Pastor Momo, good morning to you. Tosino, all the way in Moscow. Rachel, good morning to you all. Let me say good morning to Agbo. Yes, Perry. I hope you are also doing very, very well. And to all you wonderful people who listen to us religiously. Okay, those who listen to us once a while. Yeah. We salute each and every one of you because we know without you, there's no point we waking up in the morning, coming to sit here and spend time. Nah. Because you are there listening to us and you're supporting us, that is why we are able to do that. So wherever you are, we say welcome to the Monday edition of the morning show, the 30th day of September, the year 2024. So virtually today is the last day of September. How has the month been for you? How did it all go? How did it all pan out? What were your plans like? And did it come through? Whatever it is. Now, if it didn't, well. We hope that you manage to run through. And let me say good morning to Atakofi all the way in Sherman, Ghana. Yes, this morning we'll be playing one of a couple of his tunes there. It's a smasher one. I mean, last Friday after the program, I went on to listen to it. I was like, Atakofi's got something there. Yeah. If you're listening to us, maybe you have some music that you want as sample or to be playing it for you, or you have some products or services that you want it published. Publicized, whichever is appropriate. Yes, we are here to do so. This is Starr Radio UK. We do all that for you, okay? But at a minimal cost, of course. Wouldn't be charging you an arm and a leg. No, we are there to support you. We believe in small beginnings, right? Yes. Okay, so by way of program online, I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast to follow suit, then the travel updates. We'll move from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. That is known as Global Trotting. Then at 11 o'clock, we have Olayomi Koiki joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. The program continues from then after a conversation where we'll be bringing you all the other stories, the details of stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Then at 12 o'clock, we cross over to Cyprus where we're going to be having our own HRH Linda Pallien also joining in to bring you Career 101. Then after that, After the conversation, that will be approximately at 12:30. The curtains are brought down for the end of the program. So in the gist, that's what's going to happen today. So wherever you are, call a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. The Starr Radio UK Morning Show is on. Of course.
Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
All right, so let's crack on. The quote for the day says, "You create opportunities by performance, not by complaining." Now, most of us like complaining like no man's business, but it says you create opportunities by performance, not by complaining. So let's see. Do you agree with that? Maybe you don't agree with that. Isn't that nah? We need to look at it elsewhere or translate it in a different way or have it in a different way. Feel free. You can put it on the platforms that we are broadcasting on. I promise you one thing for sure, that I'm going to be sharing it and acknowledging you as well. Okay, so now let's move on to the weather. Well, over the weekend, the weather wasn't that bad. In the southeast, it was quite good because I traveled on Saturday down to... not Saturday, though, early morning, and then came back, and everything it was a bit to Birmingham, that area, and it was kind of cool. The roads were fine, and the travels were all good. But you know what? Let me tell you what the weather has got for you, wherever you are listening to us from this morning. Especially now, this is for London and the southeastern part of England. Well, the rain will gradually clear through the afternoon, with skies remaining cloudy and breezy. This evening and overnight period will see cloudy skies and spells of heavy rain continuing. It will be a breezy night. Yes. So now it's supposed to be raining. I look outside. Yes, it's been raining because we are in here, so we couldn't. But I could see that it's been raining. But the rain will continue till about 1 o'clock. And a bit of spitting here and there. Okay, chances of rain out to about 17 hours. It's a 22% chances of perspiration there. Okay, the top temperature is going to be 17 degrees. The lower is going to be 11 degrees. UV level is going to be low. Pollution is going to be low. Sunset 18:39 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07 hours. Yes, so that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. This is Starr Radio UK, and this is your morning show, the Monday edition, of course. Now let's move on straight to the travels, and let me tell you what is happening on the travels this morning. On the travels this morning, the district line is experiencing has no service between Richmond and Turnham Green, and severe delays between Parsons Green and Wimbledon while they fix a signal failure. No service between Dagenham East and Upminster. Minor delays between Elscourt and Ealing Broadway while they deal with an operational incident in the depot. Tickets are valid on Southwestern Railway, C2C, London buses, but the rest of the line are also got good service there. Metropolitan line is also experiencing severe delays due to an earlier 40 train at Finchley Road. London buses and London Overground are accepting tickets. Victoria line, minor delays while they see to a customer incident at Euston. That aside, all the other underground lines, good service. DLR, good service. London Tramway, good service. But London Overground has also got no service between South Acton and Richmond, while Network Rail faced a signal failure at Kew Gardens. Severe delays between Stratford and South Acton through Clapham Junction. Good service on all other overground routes there. Now, moving on straight to the other parts of the travels this morning. The major roads in London, yes, no exceptional delays there. That's the A roads, but you have to check the B roads. Now, on the river bus, the Woolwich Ferry is suspended. Other side, all the others are running a good service. London Cable Car, good service there. Bringing us straight to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail. As we say, keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. As to keep it navigated, I promise, our bond. On the National Rail this morning, C2C has got minor delays. Cross Country Special Service, East Midlands Railway, minor delays. Great Western Railway, minor delays. Island Line Special Service, ScotRail Special Service, Southwestern Railway, minor delays. Thameslink, minor delays. And Transport for Wales has also got minor delays. So that is where we bring the update to a close there. But I will promise you one thing for sure: as and when there are any changes whilst we're on air, we'll make sure we bring that your way. This is Starr Radio UK. Now let's go straight on to Global Trotting. We're kicking off from Nigeria. Nigeria Oktoberfest celebration is banned in Biafra territory. About 50 million Biafrans who voted in self-referendum will mind their businesses. Every Nigerian institution in Biafra land will be shut. We're going to tell you more about that. That first October, which is the independence anniversary for celebrations for Nigeria. They're going to be celebrating that. Now, state commands of the Nigeria Police Force has deployed men in Flashpoint as organizers of the October 1 protest insist on going ahead with the demonstration on Independence Day as planned. And then other stories, Dangote to transport refined products by sea. Officials are saying 17 governors raise minimum wage panels. Okay, so I'll be telling you more about that. There's lots more going to be coming your way from there. In other stories making the rounds still across the globe, in the UK, house price growth at near 2-year high. It's one of the stories. And McDonald's and supermarkets failed to support slavery. Okay, what kind of slavery is that? And Kemi Badenoch, maternity pay comment sparks story row. Well, how is that going to impact her chances of winning the conservative leadership contest? Is that going to favor or go against her? We're going to be telling you more about that. In other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world as well. Hamas leader in Lebanon killed as Israeli airstrikes reported across the country. Now, Hamas says Lebanese leader Fateh Sharif Abil Amin was killed in southern Lebanon. Palestinian militant group PFLP says 3 of its leaders were killed in central Beirut as well. And then in other stories, far right in Austria opens new era with election victory. Now we see the far right rise. Now, what do you think is going to be for most of the world? Across the globe. The far right, they are the ones who are against normally migration, immigrants, anti-immigrants, and then they get the people to support them. What do we do? Foreign policies has caused lots of things to happen, and then natural disasters and a few things that have caused people to be moving from where they are. Nobody wants to be moving from where they are, going through those who cross the Mediterranean or going through the Sahara and all those crossing, and then no. But well, people are doing that. We're going to tell you more about all that. But is it the far right? Now, we'll look at the foreign policies and see how that has impacted people or has caused people to move from one point to the other. Marine Le Pen on trial for alleged EU funds misuse. Oh boy, when they are looking for you, they are looking for you. They'll use anything to look for you. That seems to be what is going on. California governor blocks landmark AI safety bill. It's one of the stories. Expects dogs at ISS to collect stranded astronauts, but they're not coming home until February. They have 5 months more to continue there as well. Let me say good morning to Rosita. That is my sister-in-law in Ghana as well. Yes, I hope you are doing very, very well, and we thank God for the family in Florida, that God preserved their lives. In the African front, sailors say they were tricked into smuggling cocaine to Cape Verde. Okay, we'll see how they were tricked to do that. Bold and fearless, Nigerian latest star to headline in London. We'll tell you more about all that as the program goes on. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. As I did say, the new cost of living rallies planned in Nigeria for tomorrow, as whether government is saying they're not going, the police is saying they're not going to be allowing them, but they are saying we're going to be getting on with it. Now, what do you think about that? In other stories making the rounds in Ghana as well, where we'll be touching on other more stories from there. Well. It says, okay. I don't like how. Okay, let's move on. Alan Chairman outlines bold 10-point plan to end galamsey. Well, that is illegal mining. They term it galamsey, and it's Alan Chairman is coming out with his 10-point plan. But some are calling that is the GJA, Ghana Journalists Association, is calling on the president to make sure, he said, you've regrettably failed to stop galamsey. Deal with it before exiting office. GJA to government. However, the vice presidential candidate for the MPP, Napo, as is popularly known, has come out to say that the NDC imported foreigners to destroy our water bodies. Interesting, isn't it? That's what an MPP MP is alleging. How would they do that? How could they have done that? But well, lots more going to be coming your way from there. This is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But for now, let's go back and enjoy some music. Take a commercial break. The music will come after we finish with Olayomi Koiki's updates, because we know it's press time. We don't want to take too much, so that it comes on right on time. Well, 17 state governors have raised committees to implement the 70,000 naira new minimum wage for workers across the country. We'll see how that pans out. What about the states who have not got the means to support such increment? What are they going to do? You can share your take with us wherever you might be. This is Starr Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 or 0023320060636, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting live online.
Well, it's gone 5 minutes past the top of the hour, and I can tell you as shortly as we say, we promise and we deliver. I've got with me Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yes, you can see him in the car. That means he's parked. He's not breaking the rules. He's parked, and then he can broadcast. That is how it's supposed to be, right? Good. So you learn from us. We're not there saying that you are driving and then no. So I mean, if you are listening to us, know that is what he's done there. But let me say, Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie, and I hope you can hear me back loud and clear back in the studio.
Yes, loud and clear.
Good morning to you, and good morning to all our listeners, as usual, on the Monday edition on the Starr Radio UK network, and also on all the sister broadcasts that have connected to this platform as well. Remember, if it's not the Starr Radio UK, it can never be any other platform. Share the program and invite, because this is where we discuss the news affecting Africans and the diaspora, both at home and as well back wherever they are. And this time around, it will be from the Nigeria. But for now, I'm going to join the studio again. And like you said, it is important, whenever we are communicating from this side, because we are on the go. I'll be telling you, there's been a lot of flood flash this morning, because I've been out since about almost 5:50 this morning, and we've driven few places, and the highway maintenance have already shut some of the roads. I'll be telling you a little bit about that. But right now, the car is stationed, and we are communicating back to you in the studio so that we can give the news update for the next 35 minutes.
Well, listeners, is duty call. And that's why we do all that. And let me say thank you very much to Yomi once again. But I can see you in your military apparel. I mean, this man, it means that this man means business. He means business. Now, I know in Nigeria you cannot put on that apparel. If you put that one on, they'll think that this man is thinking about doing something. No. But here, why are we allowed to just do that?
Well, what we need to understand is that, putting on a military camouflage is respecting the job of a military officers around the world, and especially in the UK, where, the British military have done quite a lot, in not just humanitarian services in the UK. During a lot of crises, they are brought out to support. Remember, when we have strike with the doctors and the nurses, the NHS, and likewise, the fire engine, then that is where the military comes out and show that sympathy of humanity. So it is not putting it on that will make you look a different person. Is appreciating it. But in Nigeria and African countries, maybe because the system cannot identify who is who, so when you put on a military camouflage, is either you are likely to be a genuine Nigerian military officer or just one Boko Haram terrorist that is ready to take you out. So this morning, not because I wanted to put it on, but I had to get my other jacket to the laundry, and it's not going to be ready until the next 48 hours.
So
remember that the winter is getting closer, and if you don't dry clean it, you probably, and my wife keeps saying to me, have you done it? And I wanted to be sure that it is done, because she might just continue the nagging. And you know how the women's are. I don't want her to nag, because she wants me to look good when we are out there. And that is why she said, I can spot the dirt, even though it's a black jacket. I said, how do you spot it? She said, I have the visible eyes to see it.
That's a woman for you, man. They make sure that we look good, right? Good. Yes, so we say shout out to all the women. Yeah, good morning to you. Rachel, good morning to you. All right, then. Now, let's come to the substantive issue. I mean, okay, you were talking about the flooding that has gone on. We have floodings that have gone on in Nigeria, and that was quite serious. Now, when you compare flooding that takes place here and flooding that takes place there, let's call it all natural phenomenon. However, the way the organization is done, so that when there are things like that, we have the what do you call them, the military, we have at times we have the what do you call them, the police, we have the the ambulances, and everybody getting on with it and making sure that things calm down quickly, and we have the insurance companies coming in to sort things out. But when it comes to Nigeria, there was floods. Was it last week or thereabout? We're looking at floods, very big floods. Now, if you compare both, why do you think that people here go through the same thing? However, they have hope that things are better off, and they will be better. Call it a month or two, things become okay. But in our part of the world, no, it goes on years, and people have still not received any compensation from that. Yummy.
I think the most important thing is, the preparation for emergency. The Nigerian government and the state governors are doing their own little based on the resources that they have. But you must have the trained personnel, the trained individuals to understand that there will be crises, and there would also be flood, there will be issues. Tomorrow is the protest, we're going to be talking about that. But like you were saying, just yesterday, 2 days ago, because today is the 30th, Lagos State, we know, is literally under the water. And there's always a concern that maybe in the years to come, maybe we will be alive then or not, if we do not prepare, Lagos might be completely taken out of our care in terms of the water and the environment. So the headline 2 days ago stated, Lagos State, Ogun State are now warning the resident as Onya Dam plans to release water. We were talking about the Cameroon just about some few weeks ago, but right now, the reason why the Lagos State also said, look, as much as people might think that we are breaking the homes of some of the other ethnic people living in Lagos State, that is not the case. It's just that they have built those houses on the pathway to the water. The Lagos State governors, the Ogun State government have now issued warnings to the residents living in the flood-prone areas, particularly on the river bank, to temporarily relocate or brace for potential flooding ahead of the plan. The question is, like I said, while we were driving this morning, we saw the highway maintenance right there refusing people to drive through because it has already been flooded. But we do know as well that there's a lot of concern to many residents in the UK. I was saying to my wife some few days ago, why do you even allow the developers, and I'm talking about in the UK, to build very close to the river bank? And as we know, it's all about the money coming from outside the country, and then you are telling the citizens, to brace up for issues. In the care of your insurance will be taking care of most of those things, but as we know, insurance system is not working in Nigeria, and that means many people will lose their livelihood, and if not lose their life, when it comes to flooding in that part of the world.
Well, what do you think about all that? Maybe you are experiencing something different from what we are talking about there. Feel free and share it with us. Maybe government is making sure emergency response is perfect in Nigeria, in Ghana, wherever you are listening to us from. Share it with us. Omobolaji Abdullahi, good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us as well. And God bless you. Say God bless Mr. Archie and Koiki Media, Mr. Koiki and Koiki Media as well. Yes, God bless you all for patronizing us as well. Thank you very, very, very much. Now, Yomi, let's crack on. Now, tomorrow is the 1st of October, and we know that is Nigeria's Independence Day. However, I don't know whether someone will say they are opportunists or, so we have the Biafrans who are saying there's not going to be any celebration of the Independence Day, and we know there are protests that's going to be coming from there. So just putting the two stories together, what is going to happen tomorrow in Nigeria?
64 years tomorrow. That means 64 years ago, after the British colony and the British rule in Nigeria, and after the amalgamation of the southern and the northern and the Lagos colony, the Lagos that we're talking about, there was an amalgamation. That amalgamation has expired after 100 years. But it took 42 years for the British to finally, under the push of the, those of the leaders of the time, the, Bafemi Awolowo, the, Azikiwe, and the others, to push for independence after Ghana and others have also done so. 64 years. Tomorrow will be another independence of what is called the Nigeria. And when did Nigeria gain independence is what some might ask. Nigeria got its independence on the 1st of October 1960. Nigeria was granted full independence. Whether that is something that we can review, we're going to come back to that, because like you said, the southeast part of Nigeria might not be celebrating because one part of that do not agree with what is called Nigeria right now. But those others that agree with Nigeria are going to be coming out on what they call the fearless 1st of October protest. But like I said, the country received its freedom charter on the 1st of October 1960 from Princess Alexander of Kent, the Queen's representative at the Nigerian independence ceremony. A lot of questions have been asked. Was that independence given to the whole indigenous people, or was it handed over to one particular section of the country? These are questions that remain unanswered, and that is what is leading to a lot of requests to the right to self-determination. But let's go back to the most important discussion, because the Nigerians that still believe in Nigeria are now saying that 64 years of bad governance, 64 years of corruption, 64 years of lack of the basic things of life. To many Nigerians, that I was receiving an audio from Saudi Arabia where the woman was crying all the way through because she left Nigeria. She has lived in Saudi Arabia as an illegal immigrant, struggling. One man sent another message from Mauritania. It's good to travel, but as I said, I left Nigeria myself 25 years ago, and the question is, do I plan to return back to Nigeria? The question is no, because there's no freedom of press. And I don't want to be in a country where I will be intimidated by the government, even though I might be putting on a military camouflage. But we are no longer in the military era. We are currently in what is called the democracy that has lasted for 25 years unbroken. But it seems that the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not just intimidating the journalists, is intimidating the civil society, is intimidating the average Nigerians. And tomorrow, the no going back October 1st protest organizer insists, but it seems that the Nigerian police force are bracing up for what is going to happen tomorrow. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but I know that at 7 a.m., the president will be telling us what he thinks about 64 years of Nigeria. Remember that the wife of the president assured us that we need to have a collective fabric, and I'm sure they'll be putting on that fabric tomorrow.
Well, let's see. Maybe the fabric will unite us. So we are all wearing maybe green. Yeah. With Nigeria, united Nigeria, then we will all be feeling good. But Omobolaji says, no, it's a Nigeria Zoo will celebrate 64 years madness tomorrow. And then it goes on further to say the 1914 amalgamation is a fraud and 1999 constitution is a scam in the zoo. Now he's made his point. If you disagree with him, put your comments there and we'll be listening to that as well. Now, Yomi, let's talk about the Biafra saying that's the IPOP saying that they are not going to be celebrating that at all. Is it the whole people who don't want to celebrate, or again the sit down policy of the IPOP that is making people, you cannot open your shops on Monday and blah blah blah? Is that what is causing them to say, okay, well, of course, this time around Tuesday we're not going to be celebrating anything? And if you look at everything that is going on in that part of the world, do you think the people are gravitating towards the IPOP or their independence or their freedom, where they think that they are being marginalized, they are going to do something about it, or they are just there because they are scared that if they make a move, then we'll have the IPOP coming against them? Yomi.
Well, some might push that, there's a kind of force of intimidation, that is being played out, that is making, the part of the Southeast to be a little bit unstable. But that might be a different conversation from the leader of the IPOP movement, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that has now spent 4 years. We're talking about the same country that injustice to one is injustice to all. I mean, Nnamdi Kanu was not just kidnapped, it was rendition. The court has already proven that he is innocent, but for whatever reason, the cabals do not want Nnamdi Kanu to be left alone. That means that somebody has taken over because an ideology, and that is Simon Ekpa, the government in exile, the prime minister, stated 3 hours ago on his Twitter X handle, Nigeria October 4th celebration is now banned in Biafra territory. Whether the governors agree with him or the other average citizens in the Southeast agree with him, but it seems that it's proven something that over 50 million Biafras who voted in what they call their self-referendum will mind their businesses. Every Nigeria institution in the Biafra land is expected to be shut down. That means, in as much as it's a bank holiday, he has agreed that people can go to their businesses, but there will be no celebration. How they'll be able to do that, we don't know, but it seems that, like you said, it is a country that is divided. I spoke to Professor Adebanji Akitoye this morning, and like I said, before the end of this week, we would have him to come and talk to us through this program so that we can hear from him what he thinks about the 64 years of the independence of Nigeria, with the Yoruba also demanding their right to self-determination, as the vice president stated so when he went to United Nations, but in opposite, not for the Yoruba, the Biafra, but for the Palestinian people.
Well, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Now, we talk about the self-referendum for the Biafrans. Now, have there been a state recognized, the nationally recognized referendum that was given to them, or they organize something, or they are just coming out with that?
Well, it's not a state because the 1999 Constitution does not have that into the referendum clause. And that is something that a lot of people are saying, that the Constitution needs to be pulled down and allow a new Constitution that would allow whether people wants to live as one or not, but whether that is going to happen anytime soon. But also, we are also hearing from the Arewa that are now also pushing against anything called, regional or restructure of Nigeria. And I'll be bringing a video on later on for us to listen to, the argument from one of their leaders stating clearly that this is not the time for anything known as restructure Nigeria referendum. What they would prefer is known as the self-determination. Anything less than that would not be acceptable anything less than that will not be agreed to. But like I said, it is not just the two regions from the Yoruba and the Igbos that are crying for self-determination now. So we have the Arewa making the same push. And that means that there is so much pressure in the country right now, and we can only wait to see how all this will be resolved. And tomorrow, Showore, as one of the leader of the protest coming up tomorrow, stated that the protest will be not just a violent protest or a crisis or anarchy. We know that that is how protest is always meant to be, peaceful, until the police put out the tear gas, the water cannon, and then also including their thugs that the government also inject into such protests. So a former presidential candidate and the activist is one of the leaders of the planned protest tomorrow. Omoyele Sowore gave an update on the social media platform X today, insisting on the action and saying it will be held across the country. Someone interviewed Sowore yesterday and said, why have you not brought in your children from America to be part of that? And I hope you can still hear me back in the studio.
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
And Sowore said that, while they were fighting for the June 12th, the children of MK Abiola, up to 60 of them, were never involved. And he gave some other instances. He said that it is not compulsory that his children has to be involved, but it is all about the future of the Nigerians to fight. And that fight means coming out tomorrow for the fearless protest.
Okay, fearless protest. Ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. We'll go back to him because we know that he will press with time. That he can bring us all the others from the Dangote to transport refined products by sea. Well, transporting by sea. So where are they taking it to? Because if you are taking something to the northern part of Nigeria, there is no sea that is going to that place. Does it mean that he's just now shipping or exporting the finished product instead of selling it to or bringing it to Nigeria market so that the prices will come down? What do you think? A lot more coming from Yomi. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, you're quite right. This announcement was made yesterday in a statement by the senior advisor of the group president on special project and strategic relation, Fatima Wali Abdurrahman. She noted that the construction of a jetty in the Lekki Free Toll Zone to handle bulk cargoes during the refinery development. Today, we are exporting our product to many African countries through the seaport. We also plan to ease the pressure. Remember that we have so many bad road networks. We told you about this during the program last week that Nigeria has one of the worst road network in the continent. But it seems that since the roads are not that drivable, motorable, they'll be using the sea to move some of the product. According to the group, this initiative is aimed to alleviate pressure on the road network. But the statement also stated that the Dangote Group, one of the major sponsors of the trade fair organized in Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry that attracted a large crowd eager to learn about a state-of-art oil refinery, which has already commenced and discharging the petroleum product, but the prices has not been reduced to many Nigerians. The statement added that many attendees explore the company's various business units, but the most important thing is it looks like Dangote is going to be exploring, the movement of cargo from the sea to destination across the country.
Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is the Monday edition of the morning show at 11:25. And it is Mr. Olayomi Koiki off the M25 on the motorway somewhere, one of the service stations, and bringing you live updates from Nigeria. So we'll go to him for him to bring you more from what is happening from Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
As the October 1st kick in again, we should be expecting that the Naira for the crude deal will also begin. Remember that we told you that, Dangote will be buying the crude oil with Naira instead of dollars, since, he's buying it from the Nigerian government and not the other part of the globe. The technical subcommittee on the domestic sales of the crude oil in the local currency on Sunday confirmed that the supply of the crude in Naira by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to the Dangote refinery is to begin tomorrow. So we're going to look into that and see if the pressure will ease with the dollar. Remember that the forex is becoming very difficult for many of the companies and individuals that want to have access to it. So let's remind ourselves that it was in September this month that the committee announced that the Federal Executive Council, under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu, approved the sale of crude oil to the local refinery in the Naira and corresponding purchase of the petroleum product as well in naira. So maybe that will be something that Dangote will be excited about. We will be letting our listeners know from tomorrow. But let's go back again to the 17 governors are now saying that they have set up a panel. Well, I'm not too sure why they needed a panel, but again, 70,000 naira is the minimum wage. But across the 34 states, including the FCT, only few states are paying that the 70,000 naira minimum wage. So 17 governors have now set up a panel to review and try to implement the 70,000 minimum wage for workers across the country. The 17 states which set up these implementation committees are as follows: Ogun State, Ekiti State, Sokoto State, Kebbi State, Osun State, Enugu State, Borno State, Zamfara, Kogi, Kwara, Gombe, Kano, Taraba, Delta, River, Jigawa, and Abia. The development is happening as the federal government commenced payment of the new minimum wage to its 1.2 million workers last Thursday. According to the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Mediri, in the memo to the Budget Office of the Federation, noted that the civil servant will be paid the minimum wage with effect from September. It is easier said than done. We would have to confirm whether that 70,000 has been paid to some of the workers as well. Again, let's pick up some of the other news as well. Tinubu needs more time to settle down, according to the ex-Kogi speaker. Well, it looks like maybe some of those party leaders believe that Tinubu still need to settle down. Well, 1 year in office, it looks like that is what is coming from the ex-Kogi State, governor. Without notice, Lagos continue to mass demolition of renders 3,000 people homeless. Like we said, if you don't build the right accommodation, and those that are trying to flee from not just the Fulani terrorist attack, but also because of poverty and not having enough income and jobs in their state, would end up in Lagos, because Lagos seems to contain everything, but yet accommodation will be expensive, and that means people will end up on the street as well. Gunmen killed the PDP councillorship candidate brother in Kaduna is another headline. The gunmen have killed the People's Democratic councillorship candidate in Pari Ward in Karu local government area of Kaduna State. Another sad development from there. Let's take you back again and pick more news before we will go on the social media, and then we can come back and review some of these news headlines. We look into the business this morning. The World Bank again has approved another fresh loan of $1.57 billion to support the fund for Nigeria. The new financing will address the governance issues that constrain the delivery of education and the health, sustainable power, and irrigation for Nigeria. We hope that this fund will not be swallowed by cats, will not be swallowed by snake, and will be used to support, the project and support millions of Nigerians as well. Nigeria can produce 3 million barrels of oil daily, but that is not what we are producing. Let's remind ourselves that that region is a very, very unstable region. We're talking about different warlords that are controlling that region and continue to, bring down the pipeline, and also as many criminals that are moving in with large containers of cargo and moving the crude oil out of the country. And that means that we can no longer produce what the OPEC want us to do. Federal government target 40% transport fare cut with the CNG expansion. We know that we have large volume of gas, but how we've not been able to make use of it is another question that is there. It was not Tinubu that removed petrol subsidy. Well, it seems that, that is still back and forth in one of the headlines as well. Federal government to roll out 2,000 CNG powered tricycle for the Nigerian youth, which is called Keke Nape. Many countries around the world will not use such a kind of transportation system, but since it's in Africa, the biggest, nation, as we called it, the biggest black, nation in the continent. But it seems that Keke Nape will now be converted to the CNG, which is the gas to allow it to be used. We're going to take one more. Oil companies are owing the federal government 6.17 billion naira in royalty taxes as well. And like I said before, I come to you so that we can do a bit of analysis of what we've spoken already. I want us to listen to this video, which is going to come in as an audio, to what the Arewa are also saying, that those asking for the right to self-determination should be allowed to do so without any problem.
Wow.
Let's listen to that. It's still loading. I'll let you know when that is finally come up. But let me come back again to you in the studio so that we can continue, to deliberate on what we've spoken already so far on the Star Radio UK network this morning.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki.
Okay, I think we got it ready.
Yeah, go on.
This clip is titled Alleged Regional Government Bill in Circulation. If true, overtaken by events. A document alleging to be a bill submitted by Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly seeking to revise and to amend the 1999 Constitution and give regions independence from the central. In other words, going back to regional government arrangement. It's in circulation all over the social media. If this bill is true, and I hope it is true, my message is clear that the bill has been overtaken by events. But for the hundreds of Nigerians, no, it's not regional government, but they are an independent country of their own. Regional government belongs to the past. Currently, the agitation is for self-determination for all regions, ethnic nationalities wishing to have their own country. Anything short of that is children the wild goose. I will not see, will not cause the passage of time. I will not see the daylight.
So that is the engagement coming from the Arewa, saying that anything short of self-determination will not be accepted. Regional government restructure the country is just too late. So there's quite a lot, to look into the 64 years of independence of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I come back to you now, Mr. Archie.
Yes, quite an interesting statement that he's making. Now, can you tell? I mean, for those listeners who have not heard much about the Arewa, who are the Arewas? Can you give us a bit of a background to that, please?
Well, as we have the different social cultural group in Nigeria today, we have the Afenifere, we have the Ohaize, but the Arewa of the Arewa land is the Hausa word, which means the north. The term is used to refer to the northern Nigeria general. But what we are saying is that the Arewa is simply an Hausa language meaning the northern or the northerners. So when we talk about the Arewa group, it's one of the, the powerful group that speaks on behalf of the northern part of Nigeria when it comes to issues affecting them as well. Arewa People's Congress is a group in the northern Nigeria that was established to protect the interest of the northern extraction. It has been described as a militant wing of the Arewa Consultative Forum. The group was formally launched on the 13th of December 1999. It has been chaired by the retired Army officer Captain Sagi Mohammed, who had been an operative in the Directorate of Military Intelligence. The Arewa People's Congress has a motto to preserve the invisibility of the country. The group said it will begin full self-defense training. That was, some few years back, just as OPC, the Oduduwa People's Congress, already have theirs in the southern part as well. The emergency of the increasing militant groups such as the Arewa People's Congress and OPC is one of the factors fueling communal violence in Nigeria. So again, is one of the powerful groups, just like the Afenifere and the rest as well across the country.
It's quite interesting because I was of the view that those in the north didn't want any break of the country.
He actually said so that this is not what they would have preferred, but now that from looking at things, they've changed their mind, and that is why some of us are still not clear why some of the Yorubas that are asking for right to restructure and regional, when even the Arewa have not spoken, that they will prefer the right to self-determination as against the regional government that is too late now.
Well, listeners, what do you think about the reforms? Do you think that will be, having a regional state as we had it back in the day, would that pan out well for Nigeria as a whole? Or you think that, people just breaking away, having their own countries, call it that way, would do? As the Yoruba nation is talking about, and we have the Igbo, the IPOP also calling money, and now we have Arewa making. But government seem not to be looking at giving the people the chance for a referendum, because if you want to shish people, they said they want these people are leading them making noise. Like we were looking at the Scottish when they wanted to leave the UK, they wanted to be on their own. Okay, they did everything. Then government said, okay, fine, we'll all do campaign, we'll give you a chance to have a referendum. Now we know that they are saying that after the referendum, they think that no, things have changed and they will want out. Do you think that government will one day sit and say, okay, let's give everybody the north, let's give them a chance, let's give the southeast, let's give the southwest? Do you think anything of the sort will happen?
The issue is that the current administration does not really want to talk about anything to do with the breakup of Nigeria, even though Tinubu, while he was on exile in the UK, says that he doesn't believe in one Nigeria, but now he believes in one Nigeria. But how he's going to manage, these, agitation, these unstable economy, the insecurity, for the next 3 years that he's got in power is something that a lot of us are looking up to. Like I said, now that the vice president has gone to UN to say that the Palestinians should be given the right to self-determination, that is also fueling anger amongst the Yorubas and the Biafrans, that this is exactly what they've been saying. They are not secessionists, they are not terrorists. But the question is, was it because the attack by Hamas to Israel that led to Israel going in that have now led to 40,000, innocent lives to be lost? Would there have to be similar situation that would then take Chetima back to the UN next year and then demand that the Yoruba and the Biafra should be allowed to go? But since, it's a peaceful exit that a lot of us are asking for, that means that the engagement would have to continue. And like I spoke to Professor Banji Akitoye this morning with some of the few things he actually asked me to review that I'm reading through. Like I said, he believes that this Yoruba country can come out of Nigeria in a different format from what has happened around the world in the past. People might say that it has to be war, it has to be fighting, but the professor believes that we can do it without such, and that means diplomacy and engagement would have to continue.
Well, listeners, Chinua Achebe did say, he said things fall apart because the center cannot hold. Now, when the center cannot hold with everything that is going on, the crisis, economical crisis, insecurity and everything that goes on, then we have people saying that, look, things are falling apart, so why don't we go as segments and then have our own settlement? But we don't know what is going to happen there. Listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Let's go back to Yomi for what is happening on the social media and all the others that he has got. Over to you, sir.
Well, the social media has been lately very busy, with all kind of different conversation going on it, and I'm trying to pick where to start this morning. But I can tell you that, it's more about the protest tomorrow that is part of the engagement as much as possible. Also, the issue between, the very dark man, the EFCC, the Falanos, it seems that is still generating a lot of traffic as well on the social media. The Biafra is trending, and as the Yorubas are preparing for the, the final outing from tomorrow, will be a countdown to 12 days where people will be traveling from around the world, to arrive in the UK for what is known as one of the biggest outing of the Yoruba people that will be led on behalf of Professor Adebanji Akitoye, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, where the dinner will be held and the rally will take place the next day, and we'll be heading to Manchester for an interaction with the Yorubas that are living in that part of the axis as well. But like I said, looking at the social media this morning, it seems that the National Assembly is trending, and we know the reason that because the National Assembly is also interrogating and trying to review what has taken place. Do you send someone to the prison and they end up in a private apartment? How many Nigerians that are wealthy, that are meant to be in the prison, are probably just having a nice shawarma, with some beautiful individuals in apartment across the country? So all this is something that a lot of us have talked about. The corruption level in Nigeria is just too high. And I'm just looking at 10 minutes ago, Tinubu must appoint ambassador for Nigeria to stand a chance at the UN security seat. We talked about this last week. A year now, Tinubu has not appointed any ambassador to represent Nigeria across the world.
Wow, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It's been quite a very, very interesting morning, but tomorrow we'll see what is going to happen. The 1st of October, will the police go after the protesters? I mean, what they are saying, they've not done anything. They'll say they are having a peaceful protest until the police go in and start throwing things and trying to stop people from going, because we know already the police say they wouldn't give them the permission to go on the demonstration. So definitely from the word go, I think they're going to be having difficulties with the protest. But Yomi, what advice would you give to the protest now before we run up the conversation?
Well, the advice that we will give from here is that it is the right to freedom of the individuals to protest. But the question is, the engagement by the Nigerian police needs to be reviewed, so that the international community can continue to respect Nigeria as long as Nigeria is still existing. But one thing is, when you try to stop a peaceful protest, you must then expect anarchy and crisis, and that could become very violent. And the last thing we want to be saying is dead bodies of innocent Nigerians, as the Nigerian government killed many innocent Nigerians during the Lekki toll gate that took place. But we hope tomorrow people will be allowed, to vet their anger for food shortage, insecurity, jobs losses, and businesses collapsing, and many other things, as we have been watching this government in the last 1 year. Tinubu says he's a Democrat, and he must also allow innocent Nigerians to do what needs to be done when it comes to the democracy that we have been told has sustained for 25 years. And like Professor Akitoye said before I round it up, if Tinubu doesn't allow such event to unfold itself, then that means we should brace up for how Yugoslavia break away.
Well, how would you want the break or the dissolution of the marriage to be? Peaceful? Or if the man, you are saying, I have to go, you are abusing me, I have to go, and it's not, then the woman starts to beat the man up, then they say, okay, that is the way, now go. What do you think is going to happen? But just keep your diaries open, because tomorrow we're going to be trying to see how best we can bring you live feeds from Nigeria with the demonstration that is going on. Yomi, before you go.
Thank you so much for joining again this morning as the end of the month, and we say Happy New Month in advance. And from here, I'll be handing back to Archie in the studio, and I'll be back again tomorrow, God willing, if time permits. But for now, Archie will take you through the rest of the news network and update across the globe. I say a very good morning. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, coming all your way all the way from one of the service stations on the motorway. It's been a busy morning, but he has to make sure that we deliver on our promise. Now, what do you think about the 1st October's protest? How do you see it all going to be panning out? Well, it's quite an interesting one, right? Okay, so let me now cool it down with some music. This time around from Atta Kofi this morning, and he says what? Samo Okotose. That is a big gun. Now, when I get him next time, I'll ask him what does it mean by Samo Okotose. We'll try to do our best to see whether we can get in one of the days to interview him there. But enjoy the music whilst we take a break, and we'll be back with you with all the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Stay tuned. Don't you go away. Star Radio UK.
Nefele nyumba wana niye Anunyani no kotwe kwa nefele nyumba wana niye Anunyani no koimbe kwa nefele nyumba wana niye nyumba wana niye nyumba wana niye papa nenda musiku Anunyani no na nefele nyumba wana niye Anunyani no koimbe kwa nefele nyumba wana niye Anunyani no kotwe kwa nefele nyumba wana niye nyumba wana niye Galaxy. Wabashi wohi. Yanu de kadu wohi. Ingaye owe drobye koe. Eche mika jadutia mika mie bala ikura. Eche mika jabutia mika mie ba konokura. Eche mika jenye siswemu mika mie ba nunyamle. Ewa nini meke bila papa ya kunoka mimlise. Aba inekoe. Inekoe. Anyame inekoe. Inekoe. Ewa wadromye koe. Kemli mise. Inekoe. Aba inekoe. Inekoe. Ikemuni nekoko noe. Inekoe. Ikeni nekoko noe. Anyeme. Inekoe. Ika inekoe. Inekoe. Ikeye owe dromye koe. Eche mika jadutia mika mie bala ikura. Eche mika jabutia mika mie ba konokura. Eche mika jenye siswemu mika mie ba nunyamle. Ewa nini meke bila papa ya kunoka mimlise. Aba inekoe. Inekoe. Anyame inekoe. Inekoe. Yewa wadromye koe. Kemli mise. Inekoe. Aba inekoe. Inekoe. Ikemuni nekoko noe. Inekoe. Ikeni nekoko noe. Anyeme. Inekoe. Ika inekoe. Inekoe. Aba inekoe. Inekoe. Enemi se sanju soni. Inekoe. Inekoe. Electricity ni bison keni bebeku. Inekoe. Eneye owa wanani. Samukra Rumba wana ye Rumba wana ye kura Ofano te Onono mwone Rumba wana ye Rumba wana ye Rumba wana ye kura Akale Nono nane Rumba wana ye
Only the best music. The best radio show.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Well, a lovely tune coming all the way from Ghana. And we have nobody but our own Kofi. So let me say good morning to all the people of Ashaman, being championed by Kofi this morning here live on Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing you Samo Okotose. The finger of God. All right then. We've got various music there that we'll be making sure that we bring most of them your way during the course of the programs that will come your way with each day. But for now, we're going to be taking a break, and we come back and we continue with the stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. But this is Starr Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. This is Starr Radio UK. Whilst we continue with the program, let me bring you this social. One of this important announcement, and then we continue with it. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. Dinner night. The World Media Organization presents Dinner Night on the Friday, the 11th of October 2024, 7 p.m. London, Kensington, and special guest is Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho Shah. So make a date with the organizers. The event is taking place at 179 to 199 Holland Park Avenue, London, W11 4UL. 179 to 199 Holland Park Avenue, London, W11 4UL, UK. All right, and then the 1 million match takes place the following day. That is the Saturday, the 12th of October. Saturday, the 12th of October, the 1 million match takes place there. And God willing, on the Monday, that is the 14th, we might have Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho also joining in us on the Starr Radio UK morning show, where he's going to be throwing more light on all the quest and everything that's going on for the self-determination. Would that happen at all? Let's see. So come your way from Starr Radio UK. Once again, let me say thank you very much, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. He went on to bring you everything that you needed to know. But what do you think is the way forward? Come tomorrow, the 64th anniversary of Nigeria's independence. Some are calling for it to be dissolution, and let everybody go their way. But what do you think? UK to finish with coal power after 142 years. The UK is about to stop producing any electricity from burning coal, ending its 142 years reliance on fossil fuel. The country's last coal power station at Radcliffe-on-Soar finishes operation on Monday after running since 1967. This marks a major milestone in the country's ambitions to reduce its contribution to climate change. Coal is a dirtiest fossil fuel, producing the most greenhouse gases when burnt. Now, Minister for Energy Michael Shang said, "We owe generation a debt of gratitude as a country. Now, what about other countries that are suffering from environmental degradation that has taken place? The UK was the birthplace of coal power, and from tomorrow it becomes the first major economy to give it up. It is a really remarkable day because Britain, after all, built her whole strength on coal. That is the industrial revolution, said Lord Deben, the longest serving environment secretary. The first coal-fired power station in the world, the Holborn Viaduct Power Station, was built in 1882 in London by the inventor Thomas Edison, bringing light to the streets of the capital. Yeah. Interesting. From that point through the first half of the 20th century, coal provided pretty much all the UK's electricity, powering homes and businesses. In the early 1990s, coal began to be forced out of the electricity mix by gas, but coal still remained a crucial component of UK's grid for the next 2 decades. Now, but the science around climate change was growing. It was clear that the world greenhouse gas emissions needed to be reduced, and as the dirtiest fossil fuel, coal was a major target. In 2008, the UK established its first legally binding climate targets, and in 2015, the then Energy and Climate Change Secretary Amber Rudd told the UK will be ending its use of coal power within the next decade. Now, Dave Jones, Director of Global Insight at Amber, an independent energy think tank, said this really helped to set in motion the end of coal by providing a clear direction of travel for the industry. But it also showed leadership and set a benchmark for other countries to follow, according to Lord Devon. I think it's made a big difference because you need someone to point to and say they've done it. Why can't we do it? He said. In 2010, renewable generated just 7% of the UK's power. By the first half of 2024, this has grown to more than 50%, a new record is saying. A rapid growth of green power meant that coal could even be switched off completely for short periods beginning in 2017. Okay, so that is where we stand now. It looks like the green power is what it's going to be. We're shutting down all that, but people are saying, what about the workers who work? What about the communities? What are they going to be gaining there for? Some are saying they need to be retrained, and a lot more from there. 12 o'clock exactly. We'll not be going to Cyprus, but we'll continue to bring you everything that you need to know when it comes to other news that is making the rounds in other parts of the world. Now, house price growth at near 2-year high is other stories. The UK house prices in September rose by 3.2% compared with a year ago, the fastest rate for nearly 2 years, according to Nationwide. The Building Society said the annual growth was the highest since November 2022, with terrace homes driving the increase. Now, it said rising incomes and mortgage rates cuts were improving affordability for buyers. The average UK house price in September was £266,094. It said. Nationwide data, which is based on its own mortgage lending, showed that UK prices rose by 0.7% in September compared with the previous month, August, recorded a slight fall on the monthly measure. Income growth has continued to outstrip house price growth in recent months, while borrowing costs have edged lower amid expectation that the Bank of England will continue to lower interest rates in the coming quarters, said Nationwide's chief economist Robert Gardner. These trends have helped to improve affordability for prospective buyers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Star Radio UK news coming from the UK front as well. Let me bring you this final one, and then we'll move on to other parts of the world. Signs that modern slavery victims were being forced to work at McDonald's branch and a factory supplying bread products to major supermarkets were missed for years. BBC have found a gang forced 16 victims to work at either the fast food restaurants or factory, which supplied Asda, Co-op, M&S, Sainsbury's, Tesco, and Waitrose. Now, well-established signs of slavery, including paying the wages of 4 men into one bank account, were missed, while the victims from the Czech Republic were exploited over more than 4 years. McDonald's UK said it had improved system for spotting potential risks, while the British Retail Consortium said its members would learn from the case. Now, 6 members of a family-run human trafficking network from the Czech Republic have been convicted into 2 criminal trials, which were delayed by the COVID pandemic. Now, reporting restrictions have prevented coverage of much of the case, but England can now reveal the full scale of the gang crimes and the missed opportunities to stop them. 9 victims were forced to work at the McDonald branch in Caxton, Cambridgeshire. 9 worked at the Peter Bread Company with factories in Hoddesdon, in Hertfordshire, and Tottenham in North London, which made supermarket-owned brand products. There were 16 victims in total across both sites, as 2 worked at both McDonald's and the factory. Well. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, modern slavery. Now, in other stories making around this morning, moving on to other parts of the world. Hezbollah's deputy leader says it's ready for an Israeli ground offensive as Israel continues airstrike across Lebanon. It is the first speech by a high-ranking official since Israel killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. Naim Qasim says the battle may be long. Meanwhile, Hamas says the leader of its Lebanese group has been killed by Israeli airstrike in South Lebanon, and the Popular Front of the Liberation of Palestine militants group says 3 of its leaders were killed in a strike on central Beirut. In Lebanon, officials say more than 1,000 have been killed in the past 2 weeks, while up to 1 million people may now be displaced. Analysis says the big question is what Iran might do. What will Iran do? Jerry tanks have been massing close to the Lebanese border. Reservists have been called up still in relatively small numbers, and Israel's top generals have told troops to prepare to operate inside Hezbollah strongholds. The head of Army's Northern Command is said to favor the creation of a buffer zone inside southern Lebanon to clear Hezbollah fighters and infrastructure away from the border and allow Israel to return some 60,000 civilians to home evacuated almost a year ago. Now, this morning, the defense minister Yoav Gallant, speaking to troops in the north, said Israel will use all the abilities we have to achieve this from the air, sea, and the land. The Wall Street Journal reported that small teams of Israeli special forces have been mounting small raids across the border, possibly for several months. Rumors to this effect have been circulating for some time. A short time ago, Al Jazeera reported that Israeli forces have conducted raids on Abbasir, Haruf, and Beidas, all communities deep inside southern Lebanon, where they were well away from its border with Israel. So far, there are no signs of Israeli army crossing the border. The raids reported by Al Jazeera are likely to have been mounted by helicopter. But Israel clearly wants Hezbollah to think that a ground invasion is coming. Wow. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. What's the way forward now? Okay. But in reaction to that, it's time to stop talking about the Middle East being on the brink of a much more serious war after the devastating Israeli attack on Lebanon, which killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. It feels as if they are tumbling over it. It was a huge series of blasts. According to people who were in Beirut, a friend of mine in the city said it was the most powerful she heard in any of the Lebanon's wars. As rescue workers searched among the rubble, Hezbollah remained silent on the fate of their leader before confirming his death on Saturday. It will reinforce Israel's belief that it is their greatest triumph, yet against great enemy. They have mobilized more soldiers and seem to want to pick up the pace. They may be thinking about ground incursions into Lebanon. It is a massively escalatory action over the last 11 months. There has been an ongoing tit for tat between both sides, though with more pressure from Israel. But now they have decided they are going to push. Now, what are the big hooks saying? The US, the UK, Japan, or those Western world, what are they saying? What are they saying to stop all these things from happening? Well, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. As of yesterday, I spoke to my sister-in-law who resides in or lives in the U.S. Precisely, she lives between Georgia and what do you call that place? Florida, and he sent me pictures of the daughter's house in Florida and the trees that fell on the building, and the fact that their lives were preserved. I looked at it and I was so grateful. But 30 have been killed in one county after hurricane swarms north of Carolina. Well, at least 30 people have died and scores more are unaccounted for in just one county in North Carolina after Hurricane Helen tore across the state and caused catastrophic flooding. A clearer image of the damage the storm inflicted after barreling through Florida and Georgia emerged throughout Sunday, with Buncombe County appearing to be the hardest hit area. We have biblical devastation, said Ryan Cole, an emergency official in the county which contains the mountain city of Asheville. This is the most significant natural disaster that any one of us has ever seen. At least 116 people have died nationwide since the hurricane made landfall in Florida on Thursday, according to reports coming through. That figure is expected to rise as officials reach more areas. Now, Helen began as a hurricane, the most powerful on record to hit Florida's Big Bend, and moved north into Georgia, the Carolinas, and Tennessee. The majority of deaths have been confirmed in North and South Carolina, where Helene landed as a tropical storm. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Still coming your way from other parts of the world. The far right in Austria has opened new era with election victory. Now, Austria's far right Freedom Party has opened the door to a new era. Its leader, Herbert Kickl, has told supporters as they celebrated an unprecedented election victory. Now, Kickl's party won 29.2% of the vote according to provisional results, almost 3 points ahead of the Conservative Party on 26.5%, but far short of a majority. Now, Kickl's victory is only the latest in a string of far-right election successes in Europe. He praised voters for their optimism, courage, and trust in the delivering a piece of history. The IPO has been in coalition before, but the second place OVP has refused to take part in the government led by Kickl. Now, Kickl's main rival, incumbent Chancellor Karl Nehammer of the OVP, has said it's impossible to form a government with someone who adores conspiracy theories. There was a high turnout of 74.9% Austria voters took part in an election dominated by twin issues of migration and asylum, as well as flagging economy and the war in Ukraine. As half of the map of Austria turned dark blue, LPO General Secretary Michael Schnedlitz said the men and women of Austria have made history today, although he refused to say what kind of coalition his party will try to build. Now, postal votes were still being counted on Monday morning, but an analysis of the voters suggested those aged 35 and 59 were most likely to back the far right and marginally more women than men. It's quite an interesting one. But it's all coming your way from Star Radio UK. So there, let me bring you this. The U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has made a rare trip to the U.S.-Mexico border as she seeks to blunt Republican attacks on immigration. Now, Harris, who last visited the border in 2021, accused Donald Trump of being focused on scapegoating instead of solutions and rhetoric instead of results. Earlier on Friday, the Republican nominee argued Harris was getting killed on the issue and supports the worst bill ever drawn on border security. Now, polls suggest more Americans trust Trump over Harris on handling the border and illegal immigration. Now, Cochise County, a conservative stronghold in Arizona that became a hotspot for record high border crossing last autumn, provided a backdrop for the Democratic nominee to inspect the border wall, speak with local officials, and project a message of toughness. Now, she claimed Trump did not fix our broken immigration system, as president, adding that the Republicans were trying to force a false choice between border security and safe, orderly, and humane immigration system. We can and must do both, she told supporters at a campaign event in Douglas. Now, Harris vowed to further toughen asylum laws enacted earlier this year by President Joe Biden and to revive a bipartisan border security measure Trump helped block. Now, yesterday, what is it, yesterday or the day before yesterday? That was, I think, yeah, one of the days, Saturday evening, or that I was watching development from the US, and we're looking at the world news and stuff like that. And we had some who were of the view that a bipartisan way or consensus is the way to go when it comes to the immigration issue in the US and even here as well, because it looks like one party says this is what we want to do, and this one say no, we'll start against it, and they come, they say this is what we want to do. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to lower migration into the country. And let me put it that way, illegal migration, here we're talking about stop the boat, but then in the bigger picture we're looking at legal migration. They're trying to cap that one as well, putting laws in place to stop or to reduce the number of people who migrate to this place. And that is why now we're having a problem with the universities saying that they want tuition fees to go up, because the money that they were making from foreign students have now been curtailed, because they are not allowed to, foreign students who are not allowed to bring their families with them. But what do you think about all that? This is Star Radio UK at 12:15. Now let's move on. So one other story. Marine Le Pen, a long-time leader of France's far-right National Rally and presidential hopeful, goes on trial in Paris today, accused of misusing European parliamentary funds. Now, more than 20 other senior figures in the party are also facing the same charges. They are accused of hiring assistants who worked on party affairs rather than for the European Parliament, which paid them. If Le Pen is found guilty, she could face fines and imprisonment and potentially be declared ineligible to run for office for up to 10 years, hitting her presidential ambitions. She had denied wrongdoing, and party spokesman Laurent Jacobelli said, "We are going to prove that there is no system to embezzle money from the EU. We are going to prove that it is impossible to be an assistant to an European parliamentarian and get involved in the life of the RN," that's the National Rally, the spokesperson said to French media on Monday. Le Pen's father, Jean-Marie Le Pen, 96, who founded the National Front, which became the RN, also faces charges but will not attend the trial because of poor health. The system of alleged fake jobs was first flagged in 2015 and covered contracts for parliamentary assistants between 2004 and 2016. Now, Le Pen praises trial as long-time party leader and former EU lawmaker prosecutors allege that one of the people hired as a parliamentary assistant was actually working as a bodyguard for Le Pen and her father. Prosecutors are seeking to recover more than 3 million euros. The IRN already paid back 1 million euros, which is said was not an admission of guilt. So if it's not admission of guilt, why did you pay it back? Well, We're going to be looking at it very closely. I'm going to be telling you more about all that. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, going to Africa now. Now, Rwanda authorities have restricted funeral sizes for victims of Marburg viruses in an effort to curb an outbreak of the highly contagious virus. Contagious disease. Now, 8 people have died during Rwanda's first outbreak of the virus, which was confirmed on Friday by the nation's health ministry. The Marburg, with a fatality rate of up to 88%, is from the same virus family as Ebola. It spreads to humans from fruit bats and then through contact with bodily fluids or infected individuals. A new guideline to halt the spread of Marburg, the health ministry said no more than 50 people should attend the funeral of a person who died from the disease. Well, let's see what happens on that front. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. On Friday, there will not be a live program because my younger brother who passed on last month, in August, August will be buried this Friday. So, just for your information, we will not have a live program, please. All right then. Okay, now still on African front, let's bring you some of the other stories making the rounds there. For Daniel Guerra, an aspiring Brazilian sailor keen to travel the world, the job ad was a dream come true. A British yacht owner was seeking 2 deck hands to help sail his boat from Brazil across the Atlantic, one of the great ocean journeys. Now, there will be no salary, but all expenses paid, and crucially, Mr. Guerra will gain some of the sailing experience he needed to qualify as a sea captain. My dream was to become a captain and go work in Europe, remembers the 43-year-old who saw the advert from an online sailing recruitment agency. So I was super happy knowing that my path to my dream was beginning. Now things look even better when Mr. Guerra and his family's recruit Rodrigo Dantas, 32, met with their new British employer. They had feared he might be some snobbish yachi or posing Instagrammer who will make sure they knew who was the boss. But no, George Saw was a smiling, friendly figure who did not insist on formalities. The sailors, he said, could even call him by his nickname, Fox. Now, I used to work on some boats and the owners were old, super demanding, super rude and talked down to me. Adds Mr. Dantes, he was like very cool, very friendly. Now, Fox even passed the approval test of Mr. Dante's parents, who were worried about their son doing such a long journey on a yacht owned by a total stranger, and asked to meet him for themselves. To borrow the old sailing expression, they like the cats of his jib. They learned that Fox had brought the rich harvest over to Brazil for renovation and wanted a competent crew to sail it back to Europe on his behalf. As well as Rockies, Mr. Dantes and Mr. Guerra, there will be no 2 others, including a qualified captain. I said, look, watch out for my son. Remember Mr. Dante's father, Jao. He said, don't worry, I'll take care of Rodrigo. As it turned out, his parents were not the only ones who wanted to check that all was well on board of the rich harvest. Now, before the departure from Brazil, local police spent around 6 hours searching the yacht for drugs with the help of a sniffer dog. They didn't find what they were looking for, though the sailors assumed it was just a routine check. They had heard stories about cocaine being planted on boats and now at least knew they were in the clear. When you travel through an airport, your bags go through x-ray machine, says Mr. Dantes. So I thought it's an international trip and they're coming to inspect the boat. Now, such worries were far from their mind when they eventually embarked on their epic journey on the 4th of August 2017. The Brazilian coastline slowly receding behind them. With them were an additional crew member, Daniel Dantes, no relative of Rodrigo Dantes, and the yacht newly hired captain Frenchman Olivier Thomas, 56, a replacement for a previous British captain whose sailing skills had not proved up to scratch. Now, Fox, meanwhile, had made his way back to Europe by plane 2 days before. It was a beautiful day, perfect weather, sun, recalls Mr. Guerra, who posted a message of thanks to Fox on his Facebook page. It read, "I'm really grateful, Fox, for this chance to learn and for our bond that has made me stronger. Thanks, mate." After 2 weeks of sailing, the yacht developed engine problems, forcing it to stop in Cape Verde, an archipelago off the coast of West Africa. Now, once more, Mr. Guerra and Mr. Dantes found reasons to look on the bright side. The island were a tourist paradise, and Fox said he would wire them money to enjoy themselves while repairs were done at a local marina. And when yet more police came to search the vessel, Mr. Guerra was not worried. They didn't find anything in Brazil. He thought to himself, they wouldn't find anything in Cape Verde either. The Cape Verdean police were even more thorough than their Brazilian counterparts, using specialist cutting equipment to open up the yacht innards. Now, hidden inside below false floors, they found nearly 1.2 tons of cocaine, worth an estimated £100 million, if sold on Europe's streets. "I felt that all my freedom was going down the drain," said Mr. Guerra. "I was furious, couldn't accept what was happening. You know, I'd been really fooled." In March 2018, the crew went on trial in Cape Verde, protesting their innocence. They had never heard of Rich Harvest or its owner until they answered a job advert, they insisted. They were sentenced, however, to 10 years in jail each, in what was hailed as one of the country's biggest busts. But while their haul was impressive, the man Brazilian police regarded as the big catch got away. They believed that the mastermind of the operation was Fox, whose yacht was first drawn to their attention by a tip-off from the UK's National Crime Agency. Brazilian police believe he was the leader of the operation to smuggle the drugs. Now, in August 2018, Fox was arrested in Italy, where Brazilian police filed extradition proceedings. They wanted him to be returned to Brazil to answer the allegations against him, but the paperwork arrived too late and he was freed, much to the frustration of Brazilian police Inspector Andre Concalves. Now, he feared that Fox had subsequently gone into hiding. We were left with the feeling that, after all, our work would never get to the bottom of it. It was very, very frustrating. Mr. Concalves said his team had kept both Fox and the yacht under surveillance in Brazil. They believed the renovations on the boat were partly to fit with secret compartments and that the drugs were loaded onto the vessel before the sailors were hired. Mr. Concalves admitted that at first he presumed the 4 sailors were involved too. If someone is on the boat that's full of drugs, you think that person must have something to do with it, he said. But as he dug into their backgrounds, he could find nothing previously linking them to drug world or to Fox. The deeper I went, I still couldn't find a connection, but at the same time, it strengthened the evidence we had against Fox. The sailor's plea of innocence also got backing from an unlikely source, fellow Briton Robert Delbos, a man who was allegedly to be an accomplice of Fox. Now, Delbos, 71, is a convicted drug trafficker, having been jailed for 12 years in 1988 for attempting to smuggle 1.5 tons of cannabis into the UK. Before the Rich Harvest left Brazil, Mr. Concalves' team observed Delbos' supervising the first stages of the yacht's renovation. That's quite a long one there, quite an interesting one. But I'll tell you tomorrow what has happened to these young guys there. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. In a very sad story as well, the headmistress of the Brig Girls has died in Italy. Information coming through says what? Information coming through says the Brig Girls Senior High School in the Eastern region is mourning the sudden passing of their beloved headmistress Cynthia Enim. The unfortunate tragic event occurred while she was in Assisi, Italy at the Global Hippos English Olympiad. The organizers of the Hippo English Olympiad invited two public heads of schools from a Brig Girls Senior High School and Pentecost Senior High School to observe the Olympiads, which hosts 63 countries, including Ghana. She was attending an educational workshop with fellow heads of senior high schools and some selected students. Anim, a dedicated and accomplished educator, was participating in an international workshop aimed at improving the quality of secondary school education in Ghana when the unfortunate incident occurred. In a formal announcement, the chairman of the school's board of governors, Reverend E.A. Siedu, expressed the deep sorrow felt by the entire school community. Now, with the sure hope of the resurrection, we regret to inform honorable members of the sad and distressing news on the passing of our headmistress, Mrs. Cynthia Enim. We extend our heartfelt condolences to her family and the entire Brig Girls Senior High School community. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Starr Radio UK. I'm going to bring the program to a close in a minute. Let me bring you this one quickly. Tomorrow when we have time, we'll be looking at the other story. Now, President of Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Kwabena Jumfor, has expressed serious concerns over President Nana Dankwa's unfulfilled promise to tackle illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. Now, he urged President Akufo-Addo to make good on his pledge to combat the menace before his term in office ends. Now, speaking at the 28th GJA Awards and Association's 75th anniversary celebrations in Accra on September 28, Mr. Jumfor lamented the devastating impact of galamsey on Ghana's environment and water bodies. Now, he said he described the situation as shameful, noting that the once pristine water sources in the country has been reduced to murky, dark brown bodies due to illegal mining activities. Mr. Jumfor called on all Ghanaians to join in the fight against galamsey, stressing it is a national issue that requires collective action. He emphasized that the environmental degradation caused by illegal mining is a matter of great concern and must be addressed urgently. Additionally, the GJA president highlighted the need for strict enforcement of mining laws and regulations. He urged authorities to impose maximum sentence on offenders to deter illegal mining activities and protect the environment for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I have to bring the program to a close for today. It's been a pleasure coming your way. I'll try to see whether I can get one other tune by this round. I was going to see whether I can get one from Atakofi once again so that we can end the show with it. Okay. Okay, let's see what we have got there for. Okay, let me bring you bang play. And enjoy it. When that song ends, you don't hear from me. It's been me, Archie, coming your way, or saying that have a lovely day. We'll be coming your way, God willing, tomorrow. On that note, bye for now.
Try new.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
Wakame be,
Thanks for listening.
Wakamebe tapako kra, wakamebe tapako, wakamebe tapako kra, wakamebe tapako, wakamebe, wakamebe, wakamebe tapako, wakamebe, wakamebe, wakamebe tapa. Inka kwekwa blalo fefo eje no plae eka sumo kolo ko pla yakote no baba Inka kwekwa blalo fefo eje no plae eka sumo kolo ko pla yakote no eka wotele tasi umbi wakamebe takma wakamebe takmako au wakamebe takmako wakamebe takmako au imbie wakamebe takmako wakamebe 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 takmako wakamebe 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 takma au nke pento bla yo kana fun eyawo jake nyawo le be ko ne den se pento bla yo lo mi bi fe ka su ko chen nke eye be ko kra ko tenyawo ke chata ba jemle ko chama bote omo ya mi baba o e bote fi mo ya me nke ese be na ba fe ko tenyawo ke chata yala abakele do ade baba o abakele ye.
Thanks for listening.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Powerful.